There we go. Now we're recording. Happy Monday. All right. I know y'all sorry. I'm going to try not to itch my eyeballs out. I don't know where like, if this is as bad as where y'all live, but pollen right now, it's killing me. My eyeballs itch. My kids' eyeballs itch. My nose is running. I'm never leaving my house. If I wasn't leaving my house before because I'm in a pandemic, woohoo. But I'm definitely not leaving my house now because my eyes, I feel like my eyelash artist is going to hate me. But anyways, on to more important and more relevant subjects. Hey, hi, hello. Happy Monday. Let's go ahead and drop our I ams in the chat every single Monday. Y'all, if you've been here for a while, for long enough, I'm just going to talk a little bit while these people get added in from the waiting room. You know how I feel about Mondays. Yes, Tuesdays in our business are amazing because it's payday, but there's something about a Monday for me. Maybe because I'm a former nurse and I used to dread Mondays and now I'm in control of my Mondays. But Monday is so dang special to me. I feel like it is a fresh start. And that is why we have our team Zooms on Monday, because it is like my day. I love Tuesdays. I love our payday, but Monday for a mindset for me, because it's not always all about money, right? You don't want to wrap every single thing you do around money because you can create mental blocks that way. But for me, Monday it's a fresh start. You start new goals, you start a new week, but more than that, it's the first of the month. So when you put a first of a month on a Monday, hold my beer. Like, I am ready to go. This is my jam. Last month and this month, it was just so good for me. So you're getting all hyped up, Linz. One, that call, but two, the fact that it is the first and it is a Monday, because fresh start, fresh goals, literally for the month. And we're going to talk about goals right now. But mainly this chat is going to be about content, how to batch out your content, how to take advantage of days, when you have an extra 5 minutes, right? And I'm going to pull Christina Tammy on for this chat tonight also, because y'all know she's the queen of organization. She got my life organized. So hallelujah. She's the bomb. But I want to talk a little bit more about the content aspect of how you're going to create, or how I've created content, how I've stayed away from being a spam bot, how I take different content, and how Christina takes different content. And there are so many amazing leaders on here that if you don't follow some of the amazing leaders on our tribe on Instagram, I want you to, only for the factor of looking at their stories. But what I want you to know is, when you look at people's stories, you need to not be in the mindset of why her, or the mindset of that's fancy, I need that, or the mindset of absorbing their goals. Because what I want you to know, when you watch other people's stories and you watch other people's social media, and this is going to bring us into our goals chat just for a second, and then we'll get back to content and posting. But when you look at other people's goals, it's very, very easy, without realizing it, to adapt them as your own. And you might be scratching your head and be like, well, that's silly. No, they're not my goals. Like, that's her goals. But I've talked to so many people and they'll tell me, I want to bring my husband home. And I'm like, great. Okay, so blah, blah, blah. Well, then the pandemic hit and they're like, I just want my husband to go back to work. And I'm like, okay, so you told me that your dream goal was to bring your husband home. And they're like, no, that was Sally Joe Bob's over there. And I thought it sounded great. My husband's been home now from work and he needs to go the hell back. So we're learning that sometimes our goals are not always our goals. And if you can't relate to that, I'm sure you can relate to a car or a purse or whatever. Another really good analogy that I like to use, because I fell into this trap, was the Louis Vuitton trap. I love my Louis Vuittons. If you know me, I have a very nice collection, but it's a very nice collection that sits in my closet. It sits in there. It does not. I'm a mom. What is my toddler going to do? Ruin it. So what do? I literally have shelves in my closet for them to sit. The most expensive closet keepers that you will ever have. So my thing is, do you want the Louis Vuitton or do you want the financial freedom? Do you want the Louis Vuitton or do you want to pay off a debt? Do you want the Louis Vuitton or do you want, I don't know, to put an extra payment on your mortgage? Do you want, so think about it. Are you asking yourself, yeah, dupes are amazing. I wish I would have found those sooner. But saved me a whole lot of money, and Rob would not look at our closet and roll his eyes every day, but it's fine. But I want you to realize that when you're creating your goals, are they your goals? Are they your goals, or are they the person next to you, or are they your leaders, or are you seeing people in network marketing that are waving around Mercedes and BMWs and Audis and fancy cars when really you just want a minivan? Maybe you have all these sorts of kids like flying everywhere all over your house and they don't fit in a Mercedes, Casey. I'm going to call it out. And this is exactly what I told her when she was looking at my car and she was like, well, the auto boats, I said, your kids, I've taken them to ice cream and they don't fit in my car. So you don't need this car. You don't need the fancy things. You're creating your goals around what other people have. You're creating your goals based on what you're seeing on social media and not what is real life. So when you're creating goals for this month, since it is the first, I want you to create them around your life. I want you to remove them from a rank. I'm going to say that again. I want you to remove them from a rank. I want you to untie your goals from other people, and I want you to focus on your life. Is your goal this month to make $500? Why? What is that $500 going to do for you? Is it going to pay off a credit card? Are you going to put it towards a medical bill? Are you going to put it in your savings account? You need to write it out. What is that going to do for you? If debt freedom, and I did a call in the hustling page, all about how I got real with my financial freedom and how I got to where I am today, because y'all, it took a lot of discipline. But it also took a lot of calling myself out. And that's where your goals need to come from. It is so easy. I have my freaking purse. Well, M got me this one, but it's so easy to see a freaking Louis Vuitton and be like, ooh, that's fancy. I want that. Well, what's it matter if you don't have anything to put in the Louis Vuitton? What's it matter if you don't have a house to go home to with your Louis Vuitton? What does it matter? What is your real goal? And I'm not saying it can't be on your dream board, because if you want a purse or a fancy car or a fancy bracelet or a necklace or hair extensions, whatever it is, right? Whatever these things are that you're like, I want this, assign it to something, but assign it to an actual real life goal. Once I pay off all my debt, the next thing I'm going to do is this. Once I pay off this credit card, the next thing I'm going to do is save for this. I'm going to put 40% towards this, 20% towards this, 20% towards this, and whatever is left will go towards a saving, towards a purse, towards hair extensions, towards whatever it may be, right? A fancy jingamabobber, I don't know. Whatever it is that you see that you say, I want this. I first want you to sit down and write out all the things that you need. Want and need are two different things. And at the beginning of every single month, I write out, and I am very blessed by this industry. I'm very blessed by our company that we don't have needs like that anymore. When I first started this, I needed a whole lot, y'all. When I first started this, I needed this to keep my lights on. When I first started this, I needed this to help pay for medical bills for my mom. When I first started this, I was in over $100,000 in credit card debt. Did I have the Louis Vuittons? Sure, because any money I had, instead of getting myself smart and out of debt, I spent it on that. Y'all, when I first started this, I needed it to survive, and I didn't take it serious until I hit rock bottom. I don't want you to hit rock bottom. Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to learn, but I want you to know that if you're at that rock bottom right now, I'm here to help you pick yourself up. If you are trying to avoid rock bottom, well, guess what? Let's go. I'm here to help you run. I'm here to help you soar. We are flying this year. We are flying this month. We are flourishing. We are not falling. No one who links arm with me and puts in the effort will ever fall. I don't allow my people to fall. It is what it is. We're a tribe. We're a family. So if you need to take a step back and look at your goals, I want you to say you want 4K because you want that $4,000 bonus, that extra $500 a month. What is that going to do for you? What are you going to do with that $500 a month? Ask yourself, write it out, give it meaning, put true meaning behind it. What are you going to do with it? Now what I want you to do, say 4K is your goal, right? We have 31 days this month. So 4K is your goal. So 4,000 divided by 31 is $129. So every single day, your goal would be $129. Tell me, is $129 as scary as $4,000? So when you tell yourself that you're searching for $4,000 or that you're working, and I'm sorry if I'm rubbing my eyes, they're just very, very itchy, pollen. And when you tell yourself, you're like, I'm going to run for 4K, but that's a whole lot of volume. Flip the script. I'm running for $129 today. You guys are so worried about the 31st that it's the 1st and you haven't even started working because you're so nervous about the 31st. Think about it. Are you so wrapped up at month end that the middle and the beginning, you're not even focused on what you should do? You can do that with every single rank. Y'all, I still do that, and my team does over 200K in just auto ships alone. I know we're going to hit the top of the compensation plan, but I still mark out my own goals that way, day by day. What do I need daily? What do I need to do daily? I don't depend on my team. Do I love you guys? Absolutely. But I do not depend on you guys for a paycheck. What kind of leader would I be if I said, I'm just going to, we get it in auto ships. It's fine. I'm out. Peace. No. You will never hear that from me. I promise every single month, every single day, I work towards my goals. Is every day 100%? No. Let's be honest. I'm human. I'm not superhero. I'm not a superhuman. Far, far from it. I have many flaws and many, many things that people roll their eyes at. But you know what? Some days I give 20%. Some days I give 100%. My 20% days are still as important as my 100% days. You know why? Because I showed up. I learned to identify your 20% days versus your 100% days. And on your 20% days, I want you to sit there and I want you to give yourself grace. And I want you to know that you showed up. Say that you did a little bit of your IPAs. Say that you did your IPAs. Guess what? You showed up. Now, tomorrow we pick ourselves back up and it might be an 80% day. The next day you're at 100. Then the next day you're at a 75. Nobody in human nature, nobody is humanly able to do 100% every single day. Not even me. Okay? So I want you to write out your goals for this month and I want you to make them smaller. I'm not meaning like change them and downgrade them. I mean, I want you to make that large, scary goal. So say 4K is it, or 12K or 40, whatever it is. All right, we can do this together real quick. So 4K, I want your goal daily to be $129. Guess what? If you don't do that, that's okay. It's called a compound effect. Tomorrow, you're going to go in and you're going to calculate it for that day. How I calculate this, 4,000 divided by 31 is 129 days. Say that we're on day 5, you multiply that 129 by 5, and that's what you get to where you should be on day 5. So let's do it for 12K real quick. For 12,000 divided by 31, $387 a day is what you and your downline, your goal is. Okay? If you are a 12K running for 40, $1,290 is what I want you to have in your head. I don't want you to get wrapped up on these numbers though. If tomorrow happens and you're not at your 129, I don't want you to be like, my month is done. Screw it, I'm done. Y'all, day 2. I don't care if it's day 30. It's like you are so willing to throw in the towel that I want you to use these as a guideline so you're not looking at that big scary number, but I want you to know that some days you're going to have 100% and some days you're going to have 2%. Okay? It's normal. Nobody is picture perfect. Not a single person. Nobody's business, nobody's structure, nothing. We all have our 20%, we all have our 100%. Your 100% maybe on days that are my negative 3%. And that's okay. But you show up, you set your goals, and your funny thing about goals is they can always change and they don't have expiration dates. They don't have expectations. They don't have anything like that. So if you're sitting there and you're giving yourself an expiration date, like I have to hit it this month on the 31st or I'm never going to hit it. Why? Who says that? Or say you went 4K last month and now you're in your head, you're like, I need to be a leader. I need to do this. I need to do that. You don't need to do anything except for what you've been doing. It got you there. Finish it. Keep going. You got this. Why are you trying to reinvent your own wheel by giving yourself an expiration date or these own expectations? So as you're writing out your goals, this was not a gold Zoom, but it's fine. 16 minutes later and gift to Gab. But as you're writing out your goals, I want you to keep in mind, there are no expiration dates. There are no expectations. The only person who is setting those is you. I don't care if it takes you a year or 10 years to go 4K. The fact is you're going to go 4K. And I'm going to be right here every step of the way. I don't go anywhere. Literally. I can't even go outside without being attacked by pollen. So I literally don't go anywhere. It's fine. But now let's talk about what I wanted to get into. Don't mind me, gift to gap. But I want to talk about content and I want to talk about posting because I see and I hear so often when people message me and they're like, hey, will you do a social media audit? And they look at their page and I'm like, what company are you with? And they're like, oh, I'm on your team. And I'm like, well, I mean, I know that because I can look in the cloud office, but like, do you know that? Like, are we on the same page here? So I want you to look at your social media tonight. And I'm not saying you have to have, and this is where I call pretty social media, okay? Pretty social media to me is not throwing up your company all over your page. Pretty social media to me is you're showing you're branding fives, but you're talking about what the products are doing for you. You're talking about what the comp plan is doing for you. You're talking about what the comp plan offers other people. You're talking about what the products can offer other people. You aren't taking an email and I love our corporate and I love our company and they put out amazing, amazing resources. But y'all, if you're using it, think about how many other people are using that same exact picture. What's going to set you apart from that? The part that sets you apart is you. So I don't know if y'all have ever noticed, if you follow me on Instagram, whenever we get emails and stuff, I'll do like a video and then I'll copy the email and put it in the corner and I'll talk about it, but the email is on my slide in my stories. Do you get that? Or I'll crop it, and I see so many people doing this, which I love. I crop it out of the email and I put it on a picture of me or a picture of something that I'm doing, and I kind of fade it out a little bit. I use Fonto for that, Phonto. If you took my boot camp, it was an app on there that I recommended. But these are things that I look for. And the reason I say that is because if you go and you read my captions, you know what I do. You know what I have to offer. You know how amazing our tribe is. If you watch my stories, you know exactly what products I take. You know about the opportunity because I don't miss a day to share it. I think the biggest thing when it comes to content is you feel like you're getting annoying. How many people have ever felt that way? They're like, wow, I'm super annoying. So the minute that you feel that you're getting annoying, that's fear. And that is the moment, and Casey said this last week and I loved it. The minute you feel like you're getting annoying is the minute people start watching. And the reason I say that is because that's fear, and it means you're actually being consistent. And that's scary. Consistency is key, but consistency is also very, very scary. It's one of the biggest things that I hear from people all the time is they're like, oh yeah, I posted yesterday. And I'm like, okay, but what about today? They're like, well, I don't know what to do. Consistency. Consistency is fearful. It is something that brings fear into our minds, but consistency is also the first start to self-discipline. And for me in this business, motivation is going to get you nowhere. I love y'all, and I hope that you're motivated by this. But I'm not going to lie, y'all, I'm exhausted. But I'm exhausted with a purpose, right? I'm a mom. I lead a team. Pollen, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm just tired. So for me, motivation right now is far and few. But I can tell you my self-discipline and my self-want for this team and for you guys is stronger than ever. So I might be exhausted, but I'm exhausted with a purpose and really good vitamins to keep me going. So, I mean, there's that. Who can relate, right? So I need you guys to be consistent, because Christina and I are going to get on here. Wow, I've already been talking for 20 minutes. I apologize. Christina and I are going to get on here, and we're going to talk to you guys about how to batch out your content. I'm going to pass it to Christina real quick because I know she has some gold. Real quick, and how to batch your content, how to do all of those things. But the problem is, we can tell you all this, we can tell you how we organize, and Christina tells you guys every single Sunday how she organizes. 11:30 a.m. Eastern, the same Zoom ID, she's on here, organizing your week, going over your planner, showing you guys things, right? You're probably, if you're on those, you're going to hear some of her golden nuggets that she shares every single week and walks you through. But the biggest thing is, if you're just writing it in a planner and then not using it, what good is that doing? You're just writing it on paper. You got to do the work behind it. This is earned, not given. And the earned comes from the consistency. Consistency turns into self-discipline to where it becomes your routine. Everyone asks me, and all the time, they're like, let's see a day in the life of Lynn's. And I'm like, it's so routine now that I get up, I do my IPAs within my hour, I do my day, and then I do my focused IPAs all day long. And if you don't know what focused IPAs are, that's in my boot camp. But I do that all day long, whenever I have 5 minutes here or there, right? Because it's so routine now. It's become me. So I'm going to pass it to Christina. Let me unmute you so that way you can do your thing. All right, go for it, girl.
Okay. So, to batch content, you guys, I didn't actually come to this with notes. So I'm a free spirit here. Let's go. I always tell everybody on my work with me's or my Zooms on Sundays is you can get ready one day and honestly take so many pictures, and you don't have to go anywhere crazy. I live in my home all day long. Like, my bubble is where I am every single day. So I just am creative with that. I find different ways around my house to take photos. I don't have somebody following me around taking photos either. My husband doesn't take my photos. I don't have like friends that come over and hang out. So I literally have a selfie stand, books, anything and everything that I can prop my phone on. I have no excuses. And I snap a photo. I'll turn my phone upside down if I want something cool. You can go on TikTok. You can go on Pinterest. You can go and search so many different ways to create cool content if that's like your thing. But let's say that that's not, because that wasn't me for the beginning of it. I had to get more creative. I found a passion in creating some cool content. So what I did was I searched other people's stuff. I would search Lynn's. I seen her sitting on a countertop. I went and sat on a countertop, right? Like, I had a countertop the whole time and I never sat on the countertop. So I was looking at other people's stuff and I was just recreating it and making it my own. So I will get ready one day and sometimes I'll switch up my shirt or something like that. And I will then just take multiple different pictures. And what I like to do is I like to look at my social media and make sure that I'm hitting my brand of who I am. So like, my dog is in my grid a ton more than my husband. And I always say I'm working on that because I really am. he needs to be in there more, but it's really hard. Anyways, so, but you'll see me with my mugs. You see me in my home decor, right? I'm sitting on my chair fun and showing my home decor in the background because that shows who I am. But then I'm talking about the products or talking about the business. And when Lynn says, like, when we talk about having a very pleasing social media, a lot of times I think you can take it as like you have to have these cool photos or these cool shots or be outside and all of that. No, a lot of times it's your preset, y'all. Like your preset will give you an aesthetically pleasing, like to the eye. You could have like multiple photos of like, let's just say selfies, which I don't recommend doing. I did that for a while and Lynn's had to like call me out on that because I was like a selfie queen. And just having that preset is going to make everything look aesthetically pleasing. So stop worrying so much about like having some crazy content and having to go places or get dressed up and do all that. Like the other day I took it in my pajama top, no bra, with my glasses on, and I got the most people in my inbox talking to me when I was literally just me with frizzy hair too. Let me add that. I had like air dried hair. So one thing that I love to do is I have a album in my phone that I create every single week. So I do this. I have an iPhone. If you have an Android, I don't know how to help you. I'm sorry, but I don't know if it's the same or not. But I create a folder in my phone every single week that I name. So this one is named March 1st through March 7th. And what do? I will go and create content. I create stories. So I have it, I drop it all into there. So every time, like, let's say I go and create a bunch of photos, I go put my preset on it and I drop it into that album. And this way, when I'm going throughout my week, I'm not trying to go back and search where my photos are or go to Lightroom. It's literally all in that photo album for me. So that is something that I have done because it also helps me see what my audience is seeing week after week after week. So I know what stories I dropped last week. I know all these things, and I can kind of see like, okay, my audience already seen this story. I'm going to like change things up next week. And then I can go back 3 weeks and reuse a lot of that stuff because my audience didn't see it. Organization is definitely key, you guys. And I know that it can be scary and overwhelming, but once you start implementing this stuff, it becomes easier. You have on an iPhone, you have a selfies app, like a selfies folder. So when you're taking all these photos around your house and everything like that, you're probably going to have pictures that don't make the cut. Like I have that where it's like, oh my God, my hair looks terrible. And then 2 weeks later, my hair looked bomb. I don't know what I was thinking. And I throw that back up. So I will go and put my preset on it. I use photos, like older photos that whatever the case may be, like I don't change much, meaning I wear the same clothes a lot of the time. So if you're seeing the same clothes in my photos, it might be me in real person right then, or it could be me from like a week ago when I took it. So another reason why batching content is so huge is, for example, last week I ended up with an eye issue. So it was really hard for me to take photos because I was having some eye things, eye issues, seeing everything like that. So I got creative too. Like I took a picture of like me holding my laptop with my dog right there. And I just kind of snapped different pictures to bring different elements in. So when you're creating content, don't overthink it. Literally go and snap some photos and stop. I said this on the Zoom on Sunday. Stop critiquing yourself. Stop looking at the photo and thinking everything has to be perfect. It doesn't. Honestly, be who you are. Take those photos, get creative. Like y'all, I sit in a chair and then sometimes I'll throw my legs over the chair. Sometimes I'll have my laptop in my lap while I'm in the chair. You know what I'm saying? Like just get creative. Like today I took a photo. I was like, my table was a mess and I just went and set my phone up on something. I set the timer for 10 seconds so I could have enough time to position myself, and I let it snap the photo and then I put a preset on it. So having that folder of being able to just go and drop all of your stuff, you will never be able to say you are too busy that you don't have time to post, because you have time to create your photos, you have time to create your content and batch it all out and then put it into that folder. So if you know that you have a busy week on like next week, looking at it, you're going to be pretty busy. You need to set time aside to get your content, shoot a bunch of content. And then, like I said, go to that selfies folder, reuse things, photos that maybe you didn't make the cut or something like that. Get creative too. If you don't have the auto bonus yet, that doesn't mean you can't snap a picture of your car and talk about the auto bonus, right? Like take a picture of your car and talk about how the company is about to pay for that vehicle. You know what I mean? So I think that sometimes like you may see like Lynn's in front of, you know, her like Audi and all of that. And you think, well, I don't have the luxury auto bonus or anything like that. Who cares? Go recreate that same picture with your car. I didn't drive a luxury vehicle before this. So I was taking pictures with my hand on the steering wheel, just like she was, but mine was just a little bit different. So another thing too is going to Pinterest. You can search different things in Pinterest, you guys. Like, honestly, there is so much. Yes, Taylor does it with her Nissan all the time. So, it doesn't matter what your car is. Talk about that. Talk about how they're going to pick up your car tab if, let's say, you don't have the luxury bonus, but they give you that option if you wanted to upgrade to a luxury bonus for $800. Like, look at what you're showing people too, because somebody might be driving a Cadillac that they truly can't afford to pay for. And then they see, oh my gosh, I could get $800 for my car. But if you're not talking about it and creating the content around the things that we have, you're never going to be able to hit somebody in the feels. So you want to make sure that you're doing that and then also staying true to yourself. So I am very big, and I will wrap this up because I don't want to talk too much. I am very big about folders. I am very big about organization. And the reason being is because if I am ever too busy, it is all there for me. So like if I am super busy one day and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have like anything to post, guess what? I'm going back 4 folders from 4 weeks ago and pulling a story because I know I haven't used that in 4 weeks, right? Because that's how I create my content. That is how I try to go through my weeks. I try not to reuse a lot of the same stuff because think about it like this, you guys. If you are going to someone's page and you're constantly seeing the same thing every single day, what are you going to do? You're probably going to tap a little bit faster. But let's say you just change the picture and the writing is still the same. It sparks their attention because it doesn't look the same. So guess what? They're going to reread it. So I always say that too, like get creative with your photos. You don't have to always say different things, but sometimes just the way you put it out there. Like Lynn's was saying, like when we get a graphic from the company and sometimes she'll like blur over it and then write something. Sometimes she has it like in a video form. It could be the same thing, but if you're seeing it differently, it kind of catches your eye. So I can say, you guys, I was the biggest culprit of being lazy when it came to my content, being lazy when it came to taking pictures. I was throwing up selfies all the time. I wasn't showing who I was. I wasn't showing my brand. We did a social media audit and it was like, okay, like you are a selfie queen. That's cool. But who are you? Like, honestly, I was going and following all these people. I'm talking about this company. I'm talking about these products, but they weren't able to know, like, trust me because that's all they were seeing was my beautiful face, which is great. But they didn't get to see me on that level of like, oh my gosh, she's like obsessed with her dog and she loves laying in her bed and she loves mugs. Like, oh, okay. Like I got to know her a little bit. Doesn't mean that they have to always have what you have in common, right? But they get to know me where they can trust me. Like I can tell you, my best friend and I are polar opposites. We have a lot in common, but we are also very different. But if I need to be able to know and trust her. So if she was just always posting selfies and I wasn't able to just get to know her, how could she become my best friend? Right? Same with this, you guys. Like people, like we always say, they buy you. They're going to buy you before they buy the product. They're going to join and lock arms with you before they, for the business side of things. So make sure you're showing people who you are. And if you don't know who you are, that's when you really need to dig deep and find out your 5s list and get into that. So I really suggest when it comes to batching content, setting aside times. You'll know that you need content. You'll know like, hey, I need content. And I think we get so focused on being like our full round of IPAs and getting that list done is awesome. But guess what is also really good and what we need is that content. And I think sometimes we can get so wrapped up in the fact that we need to be on our social medias 24/7 doing something that we don't think that creating content is just as important. That's a huge IPA that sometimes may take you a whole day to do. Like there are days where I literally just focus and do content and I'm behind the scenes most of the day versus on my social media after I do my focus round of IPAs. So I think that sometimes taking a step back and, like Lindsay said, doing an audit, I have to do that constantly because I know what my MO is and I can get kind of lazy sometimes. So I always try to do an audit and say, am I showing people who I am? If somebody came to my page, would they be able to say a couple things about me? And when I was doing selfies, they would just probably say she likes to take selfies, right? So I started to show more of me. So getting organized, you guys, maybe planning a day. You honestly need one day and you can snap like 4 or 5, you can snap all 7 photos, honestly, moving around your home, and you don't need somebody following you around. If you have somebody that can create content with you, maybe you have babes on your tribe that you can go and set up days and do all of that. That's awesome. Do that. But if you don't, that's not an excuse either. Like I said, I don't have anybody that takes my photos. We had to do a video thing for the auto bonus, and Keith literally gave me one chance to get that right. And I was like, can we please do it one more time? And he was like, are you serious? Like, my husband is you get one shot. I hope you look great, because that's it. So do that with yourself too. When you're walking around taking photos of yourself, don't critique yourself so much. Honestly, just love yourself, because the people aren't looking at you to critique you the way that you are critiquing yourself. So your photos that you're taking are probably bomb. So stop overthinking it and put them up on your social media, and you will grow. Like I said, I've now become obsessed with trying to figure out cool ways to show who I am in my home. Like, what other ways can I show myself in my house? Can I sit on my counter a little bit different? I kind of have fun with it. So have fun with it. So I think I hit all the things, right?
No, for sure. My biggest thing was the organization and, well, obviously having fun with it, because I feel like people, hi, I'm people. We tend to overthink, hi, people, everything from the picture to the lighting to the words to the emojis to do I put an exclamation or a period to, is this sound okay? I could literally go on and on with all the things that I think about. But something I've learned about this business is the more I think about it, the less I do. The less I think about it, the more I do. You see what I did there? So for me, I will write out a caption and I'll hit post. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? I'm going to get no likes. Y'all, I built 80K with no likes. Likes don't mean anything. Yeah, our entire team is just anxiety, overthinking butterballs. It's fine. We all get along great. We're all in the same place. It's great. But reality of it is, likes do not equal customers. Likes do not equal promoters. Same with followers. I hit 80K before I even used Instagram, right? I built all on Facebook and then moved to Instagram, which I love Instagram now. It's really a fun way to connect, and you kind of can grow a lot faster on Instagram than you can Facebook, where when I first started, I was all Facebook and nothing Instagram. So for me, I'm still learning Instagram. I just started using a preset a year ago, y'all. So when I tell you that if you are overthinking your preset, if you're overthinking anything, just do it. Batching content will help with that a lot. Like Christina said, I'll change my t-shirt, because y'all, if you have not caught on yet, all I wear are black leggings and t-shirts. I wear oversized t-shirts, leggings, probably the same leggings 4 or 5 days in a row. It's fine. I don't leave my house. But that's just me. I'm not a fancy person. The fanciest thing about me is probably the car that Lavelle gave me for free. So I didn't even go out and buy that. Okay. I am just not a fancy person. I don't know how to work the car. I have to call Rob all the time to ask me how I move the seat. I don't know how to work it because I'm just not fancy. Okay. So when I tell you, you don't have to be anything except for yourself, I mean it. I don't want you to go out here and be like, I'm not 18 years old. Me either. I don't want you to go out here and be like, I don't look like Christina Brill in a bikini. Me either. Okay? Me either, sister. Like, I just want you to be you. If that means oversized t-shirts, then rock the oversized t-shirt. If that means a bikini, then rock the bikini. If that means hair in a ponytail, hair in a ponytail. I don't want you to think because you don't look a certain way that you don't look the part. I heard that the other day and I was like, you want to tell me what the part is? There's no such thing. The beauty of this industry is the more you are you, the more you're going to grow. The more you are you, the more you are allowing people to connect to you. So as you're batching your content, I want you to don't worry about getting all fancy. You can work on that later if that's something you want to do. Sorry, my phone is going off. I want you to worry about being you. And how we're going to do this is we're going to batch our content starting this week. So I want you to sit down and I want you to look through older pictures if you haven't taken pictures in a while. And I want you to, if you have an iPhone, what I do is there's a heart at the bottom of the pictures and I heart them. Then what I do from there is I go onto Instagram. I have the hiccups, y'all, sorry. I go onto Instagram. I go like I'm creating a post. I go like I'm creating a post. So I put a picture up in my thing, right? I hit next. Then I go and I'll hit something like, I'll hit edit. So I don't mess with the filters because I already have my preset on it. I hit edit, then I go to brightness and I literally make brightness 1. The reason I make it 1 is because it changes absolutely nothing on the picture. Then I hit done and then I hit the back arrow. And it'll say, if you go back now, your image edits will be discarded. Do you want to discard, save draft, or cancel? You know what I hit? I hit save draft. And what does that do? When you go now to, when you do that, and I put all of my pictures that I batch in there. When you do that, all of your pictures show up here in a draft section. You hit manage. It's going to look at all these drafts that I have that I can pick from. Look at all these. They're all pictures that I didn't love at the time, but I knew that I could add them to, or they're pictures that I liked, but I had been wearing the same shirt. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try and break up my feed a little bit. So I'll post that one next week. You can reuse pictures. You can reuse outfits. If you like the picture, do it. But you're going to save your time if you manage your pictures and you set them up there. And the reason I like Instagram is because I have my Instagram to where if I do a post, it saves that post into my camera roll. So then I can immediately go into Facebook, upload that picture, copy and paste the caption that I had in Instagram and post. 2 birds, 1 stone. You do not have to have 13 different posts a day when one post does everything for you. But the point of it is that one post has to do it for you. If you're overthinking it and you're sitting there and you're like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this is right. You know, I'm just going to say how I hate pollen. I'm really upset with pollen right now. So that's my topic. You're just going to say, I hate pollen and change all this stuff that you talked about. What does pollen have to do with my business? Nothing. So I wasted a post. Think of it this way, with the algorithm, the ever so changing algorithm, every time you post, you're fighting against yourself for visibility. So why not get one amazing post out there per day that is bold and you, so you're not fighting against yourself with 13 other posts. The best thing I ever did was get organized. I will have days where I am very creative and have days that I am a -3. Like I couldn't even tell you a color. I'm so uncreative. Like it's just not me. But the days that I'm super creative are the days that I am in my notes, making notes on topics that I want to do. Another really quick tip, and then we'll go ahead and we'll end it for the night, is I really like to, if I see other people's posts, I am not a copy and paster. It's not my thing. I don't like to copy and paste anybody, just because I think that when you copy and paste somebody, you take the tone of their and the energy of their posts. And I am very, very protective of the energy that I put out into my social media. I want to make sure that it's always me. I want to make sure that the tone is me. I want to make sure it always sounds like me, because when somebody joins you, if your tone is different in your posts than how you are as a leader, it doesn't equal up, right? So for me, I like everything to be authentic. So what I will do is, if I see posts that other people make and I like the idea and the concept that they're sharing, I will save it. So there is a section on Instagram that you can hit the post right here. It's on this side. It's like a little badge. If you hit that, you can save it. And then to find it, when you're on your profile, there are, in the top corner, there's lines. In the top right-hand corner, there's lines. If you hit that, there is a menu that's going to pop up, and it's called, and you hit saved, and all the things that you've saved are now in there. So when you're going to find, I just learned a few weeks ago. Yeah, it's at this. I love this. I've been using it for over a year now. That saved section, because sometimes I'll be going through and I'm like, wow, even people not even in our company, and I'm just like, wow, I really like how they just shared about their company that way. And I'll save it, and then I'll go and I'll remake it to fit around what I love about our company. So that saved section is hands down. Yeah, I make my own folders and everything. I just didn't get too technical with that. You can play around with it. I have a post inspo folder inside my saved and stuff like that. But reels are really fun to do it with. If you want to remake a reel, you can hit the save, but you don't want to do it right now. You save it, and then later on you can go and you can use the sound and you can remake the reel for yourself. That saved section is huge for batching content, because if you see somebody make a post and you're like, I really like that, you're like, you know what, I need a post for today. I'm not really creative and I've used all the ones on my phone. So let me go and see what's out there. So I like to go and I look in that section and I like to see what other people are saying. Again, I don't copy and paste it. I have not ever copied and paste word for word anything, because again, the energy, and I do not suggest copy and pasting at all. It's not duplicatable. Well, it is duplicatable, but not in a successful way. It's not abundant. So I love that. And I think that was it. Reels, saved inspo, create albums, like you said, for organization. Ideally, batching is just organizing. So if you struggle with feeling overwhelmed, I really want you to take a step back and organize all the things that you have to do, because when you write it all out on a list, you're going to realize that it isn't as overwhelming as it is in your head. I was talking to my neighbor tonight and they were talking about something. I was like, I have too many tabs open in my head. And she looked at me and I was like, I need to go like brain dump. And I came in and I brain dumped everything that was in my head that I felt like I had to do. Turns out I really only had to do 2 things, and my brain was telling me I had to do 32 things. So really, really, if you feel like you're overwhelmed, I want you to write out all the things you have to do and put it in a need section and organize it that way. In the morning, I know I wake up, I need to do IPAs. Then I need to check into my team chat. Then I need to get a post up. After that, I take a break. I go mom life, wife life, whatever I need to do, work out. I come back. I'm back for about 30 minutes. I'm checking into my team chat to make sure that everything's good. If it's good, I'm back out until later that night. I only really check my chat 3 times. And the reason being is because if you're living in your team chat, if you're living with other thrivers constantly on your phone, you aren't growing your potentials. I am constantly having conversations with potentials. I am constantly having conversations with my new babes in their first 14 days. But my overall team chat, my overall team page, stuff like that, I am not living in. If I need to find a resource, I'm there. I look in the team page. If I can't find it, then I'll ask a question in the team chat. But my biggest thing is, if you're living in your team chat, you're taking away from time that you could be batching content, from time that you could be finding content, from time that you could be organizing something. So those are just a couple tips as far as organizing and really managing your day. My time on my phone, I know everybody always thinks this is so strange, but like yesterday it popped up and it was 2 hours. So I only spent 2 hours on my phone, like total yesterday. And I'm going to tell you that it can happen, but it will happen if you're organized. If you organize your business and work it like a business, and that starts with batching out your content and really, really getting meaningful and impactful with what you're doing for your business. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, a happy March, and write out those goals. Really, really write them out. Really, really assign them to something and break them down day by day, week by week, so you aren't looking at the overall large number or large picture, because it can get overwhelming. And then next week, Christina Brill will be on with me, which I'm super excited because she has some fun little nuggets to share with y'all. So love ya. Bye.